Richard Barney, COO, Next Day Dumpsters.
Who was a leadership mentor or role model who inspired you and why?
One of the leaders I had that inspired me the most was a gentleman named Matt Connolly. He was one of the CEOs I worked under at Good 360. And what I really appreciated about him was that he took the time to explain what his goals were, why they were important, and what he was expecting from me in my role, so that I felt that there was good, clear guidance, good, clear understanding of what was important, and then he let me, accomplish those tasks in my own way within, basic guidelines. So it was always clear what his expectations were and what the outcome that he was looking for was.
What has surprised you about your current leadership role?
I think as a young person coming into the business world, what I didn't realize early on, and I don't think I was ever really taught, was the amount of organization and prioritization skills that are required for leadership. There's so many things going on. There's so many things that as a leader you want to do, things that you think are important, that you want to spend time and attention on, and there's only so many hours in the day. So finding the time and priorities is really key. To organize your time, try to get as much done as you can, but making sure that the first things are done first, that the priorities that you set are the priorities that then you actually make happen.
What is your biggest leadership lesson learned?
I think the biggest leadership lesson that I ever had throughout my career has been training of employees. It's not enough to just hire good people and put them in the job. You really need to train them. Long ago, as a scoutmaster for my son, I learned the EDGE method, which sort of fits with a lot of other training methods. But you can't just say sometimes you can, but you can't all the time just say, hey, I need you to do this task. A lot of times you need to tell them what you need to do, then you need to demonstrate it, then you need to guide them while they're doing it, and then you need to evaluate them. It's important that all those steps of training that you go through carefully so that you make sure that people have success. Some people you can go through those steps quickly, some take a little bit longer depending on their experience, but it's important to not just assume that they can figure it out on their own, that you guide them through that so that they can be successful.
What has been one of your best leadership decisions? Why and what was the impact?
This has happened to me a couple of times, but one of my best decisions was fighting for a candidate to be a full-time employee that was initially kind of rejected by my boss. I can think of a couple examples, but one specific was a CTO we hired at a past company that my boss wasn't really keen on hiring, but I knew I had the experience to make the decision. I knew that the person we were hiring was a great culture fit. I felt that the reasons that my boss was potentially rejecting the candidate were not valid. I thought about it a lot. I went through my notes and I really lobbied for him. We hired that person. He's still there and doing a phenomenal job. So I was really proud that I stuck by my gun.
What has been one of your worst business decisions? Why and what did it teach you?
When I had my own company with 3 other partners, we set out to hire the best of the best of the best, and that turned out to be a bad decision. We overhired in a lot of ways for every position, and a lot of the people we hired quickly didn't want to do the basic tasks. They wanted somebody else to do them. They wanted to move up. They wanted an advancement. They wanted a promotion. I had people who were looking for 3 promotions in a year or looking for huge pay raises, and I didn't have enough people who wanted to just do the work. I had people who were wonderful and smart and great, but they were too restless. They were all looking to advance, and that caused us to have payroll that was way too high. It caused us to have people that were not as committed, were not as passionate. And I realized just because they had a certain pedigree didn't mean that they were the right fit for that position, for that seat. And it helped me rethink about how I looked at, right person, right seat.
Do you have advice for aspiring entrepreneurs?
My advice for aspiring entrepreneurs is focus on people. Focus on hiring the right people. But in that process, in most cases, I think it's a poor decision to focus on skills and experience. Those things are important, but I think too many, especially entrepreneurs, get wrapped around, oh, this person has got a title I'm looking for, or a piece of software, or they came from a competitor. What I've found in the hiring that I've done that I think is really important to entrepreneurs is get great people that have that passion, that have the ability to learn, that are coachable, that have that customer service mentality, that fit with the values that are important to you. You can teach them to use a piece of software. You can teach them about your business. What you can't teach them are those attributes, those intangibles that really make for a successful employee. And I think too many times entrepreneurs either hire somebody that they kind of know, or hire somebody that looks good on a resume, or they hire for a skill that a specific software package or a specific skill set that can easily be learned, and miss focusing on values.